Once again, we are back with another look at a new map. This is the updated Sand River. There's actually two sets of clips because the first one that I played in the T95E2, I pretty much stayed on one side of the map because I was pinned down. So there will be two separate clips that you can see, one in the T95E2 and the second one will be in the M103. They will both be on the same spawns that I actually went around the left on the second video. One of the big noticeable parts is the middle part of the map being the main focal point, but also on the second part you'll get to see that the left hand side of the map is a lot lower and there's a lot of change in terms of the high rising sand dunes. So as we go around the right hand side, it's pretty much the same as before. You've got the dips on the left and the right hand side. They've pretty much stayed the same in terms of the getting in and out and part of it, and the route going up onto the right hand side is very much stayed the same. The middle parts of the map haven't really been moved that much. One of the reasons I believe is that there wasn't an issue with people having camping spots that were overpowered for one team over another, as what there were on the far left hand side of the map. So as I go up on the right, it's more or less just to see how the gradient is, since a lot of the other maps have a lower gradient overall. In terms of getting uphill, Westfield being a very prime example for that. And also later on in another video, Sacred Valley as well, there is a big, absolute massive change to that. And it does look to have balanced it out somewhat, so I'll have to wait until I actually play a game on it in order to see how well it does. But moving up on the right hand side, I can see there's quite a few people already on their team moving up. The light tank has pretty much got himself into a bit of a mare at the moment. I'm going to try and cover him as much as possible, but there's only so much I'm able to do. So going up there is pretty much exactly the same. It's going to take me the same amount of time near enough, and I'm also going to find myself in a position of being able to shoot down. Same stories going around the other side. It's never too much of a change on parts where there's no issues with. At the moment I'm finding myself backing off, but again, the flanking around the right hand side they can still do. You can still go onto the right hand side up from that spawn, so like in your A6 you can still go up on there as you did beforehand. So as it is, I'm just in the case of backing off at the moment. It does feel more of a enclosed kind of feel to it, still very similar to the way the old map was. So there's never a case of being in a position where like, okay, I might get hit by artillery here, I might not, who knows, because you're always going to have that cover, which is one of the things that seems to be a big factor with the maps, is there's more cover to hide behind. So certainly with artillery in the game, you're not constantly trying to move about and avoid it. You can actually get into spots and sit there if you're hull down, if you're in a position where you're not going to take shots from other people, you're not going to get hit by artillery on a more regular basis. So in some respects it's going to allow you to be more aggressive if you want to, and hold the position better, which is a big plus for a lot of people. At the moment you can see I'm pretty much pinned on this right hand side. I'm just trying to guarantee the hit, so there's a lot of heat ammunition being used, as much as it probably doesn't need to be. I'm more appreciative of trying to get rid of the tanks, making sure I don't actually bounce like I do there, because it was a very terrible shot. But you can see that there's a lot less chance of me getting hit by anything artillery, and you can see by the fact they've got two, both the big tier 8 artillery has not been able to hit me, despite the fact that one of them is actually the British artillery, which has got the high arc, which is one of the big things of looking out for when you play this type of map. In the big open spaces, even if you hide behind things, you are likely to get hit, so at least the fact it gives you the opportunity of ensuring that you have some cover, you are able to hold up flanks, and it makes it more of a nicer experience, not being able to be removed from the game within the first 5 minutes because you're moving forward and being shot is nice. It's just really nice. This is literally as far as I'm able to get on this side. I do move back down again, but again the cover on the right hand side is allowing me to stay there and take shots at this T95E2 to ensure I can take him out, but at the same time not be splashed by artillery. Either they're too busy focused on another point and have seen me as more of a difficult target to hit, or they're just too busy concentrating on the other side because someone's trying to focus fire on them for whatever reason. So as it stands, I'm just looking to try and take out the T95E2 on our base and then move round. There isn't much hope for me to do much because of the light tank that's on the base taking out the artillery, so our pretty much air support, so to speak, is being removed slowly and surely, and I just want to make sure that these tanks are removed. Ideally what I'd be looking to do in this case is moving back to base defend. The only issue is with their artillery, the spots where I'd normally go with like F6, I'd find myself having to shoot and scoot at the same time. It is always going to be there, that there are going to be some points in the map where artillery is still going to hit you and it's not as much cover. But it does provide you still the cover in order to fire at the other tanks coming across. But to actually get a view of the entire map, I did decide to go forward, take out the light tank, and then move on to their base. Where, again, at least coming back for the base defender, it doesn't seem too much of a change in terms of the gradients and going back up the hills again. Certainly in the medium tanks and the light tanks, you may not see a difference at all, just on the basis of the speed in which they're able to go. So you still sort of find people in the same sort of spots if they're going to camp, i.e. on this map in this part with the TDs, and getting back and going wherever. You're not going to have too much of an issue, at least trying to cover yourself or cover the other team, cover your escape plan, cover their escape plan. It is very much similar. It's only on the next part of the video, which is coming up shortly, that you actually see a very, very big difference. And certainly when you come around to Sacred Valley, that is also a fantastic example of a map that was very, very overpowered for one spawn and then changed greatly. So coming back on this side, again, it's very much similar. There wasn't much to change that needed to change. So what we'll do now is we'll move on to the next clip with the M103, the same starting spawn, but this time I'll go around the left-hand side. So pretty much I'm going to view quickly the main part that's actually changed in the centre where you can bum rush through. There is a problem for that, and that will be highlighted a bit later on in what you can achieve by going through it, but also at the same time what you can't achieve if you don't find yourself having people backing you up and having a decent team that goes around. So one of the first things I noticed coming up is the sand dunes are slightly higher, where that could be just the way it looks because it's newer. It seems more orangey, if that's even a genuine term, but at the same time this stupid little rock is still there. I get caught on it like a tool, so I end up moving around. The light tank that's in the distance, the Bulldog, is another indication of the lower part of the map, as if it's been nuked, so to speak, as if to say it's been completely flattened. There used to be a really big hill on that corner where you could hide behind and spot over the top, but at the same time not receive fire from where people are sitting here and further back. That seems to be more mellow. I do wonder how that's going to play if more of their team went around this side, but you can see the people in the middle that are being highlighted now. I'm wondering if that's going to be more of a spot where people are genuinely going to go on a regular basis, but the only issue with that is you're likely to get fired on from the top. And also if you have a lot of people going through there like they are, you leave yourself open to being flanked from either side, which is primarily what I'm looking to try and do here, basically to see if it actually works and to see how well the flank moves around. So now you can see the left hand side, there's literally no mound whatsoever, so maybe they're being forced into that little gap because of it, or maybe they would be flanking around. As you can see in the top right corner in A9, there's also tanks there. For the first time I've actually played it, and to see people do this in their playstyles to change is a drastic difference completely. If you're the other side of the spawn, I did appreciate more than the one I spawned on, because of how much it was easy to get around the side and spot from where the light tank and medium tank are to my left, down where you generally see. If you're able to find only one or two tanks, you just flank around completely. Now the people in the middle in the river, I've actually got a lot of cover from those buildings, so there's not much I can do. So the idea was to remove as much of the people around the left hand side as possible and see if we could flank round. Again, this is very much indicative of what I was saying, that the radical change of the map in lowering it and removing a lot of the cover on that side, it does look as if it's forced people to take a different route, and it does look to be that if you send a lot of people down there and you don't take the other flanks themselves, or you allow yourself open to a quick counter, whilst it's good in that it allows you to get to their base, if you're not able to push out of that base, you're going to find yourself in a very difficult situation. This can be found here. One of the things we're looking to do is to clean up the remaining people that are either sat back on base or haven't moved. What it looks to be is that people don't know where to go. So you can see there's a couple of tigers out in cover, the first one I shot, and there's another one on the mound side, I believe it's in C6. So you can find yourself picking up stragglers either from people who don't know how to play or that have tried to go one way and notice their team's lemming training another. So the only thing I'm looking to try and do at the moment now is take out the remaining flanking people and then move through the bottom, as it seems to be the people in the actual water itself, because they are low down, they're unable to actually get out and take pop shots at people, because again the cover that is given to people on the outside on that base is really, really good. if you find yourself in a position whereby you can hold down, even if they're down low, if you can hold down behind other cover, you can delay their attack and running through, and it looks to be the case of what's happened here. Got fortunate with a high roll on the tiger, although not enough to kill him, so I thought I'd just ram him for the sake. So this is pretty much coming from their spawn, coming down the middle, and moving up where they went, just showing you how much different it is. There's less water, there's less rocky resistance, there's more of an emphasis on the speed part. But again, the issue remains that unless you got that left-hand side that was just in view there, and try and probably see if anyone's actually still in the middle, you do leave yourself vastly open in order to, well, you just leave yourself massively open to be shot from both sides, especially artillery, because there isn't much cover down here for you to actually hide behind and push through. But also, along with the fact of the map design, you'll also notice, which I did, is the evaporation of water on the tank. Completely different to the way that it goes, but you can sort of see the water drying up. It doesn't do completely, but the bottom half of the tank that's still in the water is completely covered in water, but the tank turret starts to dry. So this is just another feature that they've added in. The water looks a lot nicer, actually like genuine real water. But the evaporation actually looks quite nice in the tank. Although I don't know how many people will actually take notice of it, but there you go. It's sort of a one-hit wonder. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and as always, if you can like, comment and subscribe, and let me know what you think to it, that'd be ideal. Thank you very much.